Hi, my name is Adriana.
And my name is Peely.
And we don't like beef. And together, we can do so much better.
Yo, we back in this bitch for another one. Go Deep, episode 181. We gonna jump right in this. Just gonna be short and sweet because we got some shit to prepare for tonight, but I'm gonna sneak in a real quick podcast. What'd you think, crowd? Should I sneak in a podcast? You like that? All right, I get it. All right. But I'm gonna do it anyway. So let's go. Go Deep, episode 181. This is with my homeboy Mindscab. He's one of the coolest dudes you're ever gonna meet, probably. I talk to him a lot on like Instagram, Vero, shit like that. But I've been trying to get him on the podcast for a while. I finally got him on the podcast. We finally got some time, matched it. As you can see from the title, this podcast is about the beef in the movement. But it's probably not what you think it is. We're not talking shit. We are not going at anyone. We are not disrespecting Justice Khan. We are not disrespecting TPZ or Nerd Queens. So if y'all read that, we are not disrespecting anyone, by the way. He's older than me. So we're on our grown man shit right now, bro. Let's get it. Go Deep 181. It was a good talk. Good, it wasn't no fucking debate. It's a good conversation. Go Deep 181. Music first, conversation next. Crowd goes wild. All right, great. Be right back. Yeah, bitch.
The Commission, Uncle Paulie, P. Diddy, Caesar Leo, De Janeiro, Charlie Baltimore, Iceberg Slim, the most shady, Frankie Baby. We here.
Do you know what beef is? Do you know what beef
nowhere.
is? Ask yourself. Do you know what beef is?
Come on. Ha 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 ha. Check out this bizarre rapper style used by me. The B.I.G. I put my key, you put your key in. Money will be seeing, we'll reach the fucking ceiling. Check it. My calico been cop. This rap Alfred Hitchcock drop top notch. Player hating gon' stop. This instant, rappers too persistent. Quick to spit, Biggie name on shit. Make my name taste like ass when you speak it. See me in the street, your jewelry, you can keep it. That be our little secret. See me, B that is, I that is, G Wiz. Motherfuckers still in my biz. Hope they know my nigga gutter fuck them in they ass, throw them over the bridge. That's how it is. My shit is laid out. Fuck that beef shit. That shit is played out. Y'all got the goal. All I make is one phone call. All y'all disappear by tomorrow. All your guns is borrowed. I don't feel sorrow. Actually, your man passed the gap to me. Now check this. What's beef? Beef is when you need two cats to go to sleep. Beef is when your moms ain't safe up in the streets. Beef is when I see you, guaranteed to be in ICU. One more time. What's beef? Beef is when you make your enemies start your G. Beef is when you roll no less than 30 deep. Beef is when I see you, guaranteed to be your ICU. Check it. I done smoked with the best of them, shot at the rest of them. Was about 100 or more, maybe less of them. Got my rocks off. That nigga from the brook just be wildin' on you, just be styling on you. And I tried to warn you, but your eyes fucked up. Now I cleared them shits with hits, you on the fucking bench. Pardon my French, but sometimes I get kinda peeved at these weak MCs with these supreme baller like lyrics. I call them like I see them, G. Y'all niggas sound like me. Y'all was grimy in the early 90s, far behind me. It ain't hard to find me. Number one with the booyaka. Give me the Remy and the Chronic. Ain't no telling what I do to y'all. It's obvious the game's new to y'all. Take them ends you make and spend them on the tutor, huh? One shot, I'm through with what's beef. Beef is when you need two gas to go to sleep. Beef is when your moms ain't safe up in the streets. Beef is when I see you, guaranteed to be in ICU. One more time, what's beef? Beef is when you make your enemies start your Jeep. Beef is when you roll no less than 30 deep. Beef is when I see you, guaranteed to be in ICU. There'll be nothing but smooth sailing. When I spit shots, now your crew's bailing. All I got is heat and tough talk for you. Tie you up, cut your balls off just for you. Man, listen, straight torture. Look what that slick shit bought ya. A first class ticket to Lucifer. Real name Christopher. Watch me set it off like Vivica. Here lies your demise. Close your eyes, think good thoughts. Die while your skin start to glisten. Pale blue, hands get cold, your soul's risen. It's bad cause I just begun. Will make the shit real bad, I was having fun. What's beef? Beef is when you need two gas to go to sleep. Beef is when your moms ain't safe up in the streets. Beef is when I see you, guaranteed to be in ICU. One more time, what's beef? Beef is when you make your enemies start your G. Beef is when you roll no less than 30 deep. Beef is when I see you, guaranteed to be in ICU. And I'm through. Life after.
Now ask yourself, do you really know what beef is?
Life after.
Then ask yourself, do you really
Life after.
Yeah, I like that. Big Nosh, Hitman, baby. On and on and on and on. Babble. Y'all know what it is. Shit, I don't want no beef.
All right. Back in this bitch, we got Go Deep episode 181. We got the guy with the most evilest name in the whole Snyder Cut movement, but maybe not an evil name. I just look at him and I'm like, oh shit, what does this guy's name mean? This is Mindscab. I've been wanting to get Mindscab on the fucking show for like 2 years now, just because of your name, man. I gotta pick your brain.
There you go. This will be your least viewed podcast. People are like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, right. What's going on, man?
Not much, man.
Yeah, okay. So since it's your first time on Go Deep, tell us something about you, tell us where you're from and how you got into the movement and, what attracted you about Zack Snyder.
Well, grew up in Southern California, got displaced to Texas of all places in my teenage years. So being a teenager from California in Texas in the early 90s wasn't as easy as it would be now, so.
Right.
Always kind of cater toward the underdog. So really my first introduction with Zack, I guess, would be without even knowing who he was, when he remade Dawn of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge horror fan. I love George Romero, and I was like, a remake of Dawn of the Dead? What the fuck? And so I gave it a shot, looked at it, and I was like, damn, I want to watch that again. It's not common that a remake makes you want to view it again. They're usually failures.
Right.
But I still didn't know who it was. I like movies, but I was heavy into music, so I couldn't tell you who directed shit or anything, unless it was like a Spielberg or something like that, names you hear. But and then 300 came out, and that was just world shattering. Everybody heard of that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I started to hear his name, Zack Snyder's 300. Okay.
Hell yeah.
And as he came out with stuff, I'd go watch it, Watchmen, all that, great. And when Man of Steel came out, I'll be honest, man, I don't care for Superman much.
Really?
You know, I didn't. But
Yeah,
I was
why?
like, because he's too perfect, you know? It's like, you know, reading comics and stuff, my favorite one was when Doomsday killed him, because I was like, well, there you go.
That's why your name is Mindscab.
But you know, different iterations of the comic, yeah, he has his faults and his challenges and everything, but for the most part, you know, he's that perfect, you know, Boy Scout. I was like, that there's nothing interesting about that. You know, fuck Superman. But then Man of Steel came out, and within minutes, I was like, well, shit. If anything, this looks awesome. I mean, those first few minutes on Krypton,
Hell yeah.
damn,
Hell yeah.
this shit looks amazing.
Hell yeah.
And watched it all the way through. And you know, when he broke Zod's neck, I was like, there you fucking go. All right. Yeah, I was like, if he can make Superman like this, you know, the struggles of growing up with the powers, and you know, how many of us with that power would have let that prick in the bar throw that drink at us, you know?
Right.
No, yeah, exactly right. Would have done more than fucked up his truck. So I was like, okay, well, you know, this guy is approaching it from an avenue that, at least with my comic viewing, wasn't present. And when BVS came out, done. Yeah, perfect. I love that movie. It's my favorite movie of all genres, of all time, hands
Mine
down.
too.
And it became an obsession, you know? And so I'm not big into social media, but you start trying to seek out information about this, you know, because you start that I guess it was the Comic-Con leak, you know, where they did the little sneak preview and everybody went nuts, you know.
Right.
And when Harry Lennox came out and read that Dark Knight Returns quote, I was like,
that's my favorite part. That's what I knew.
I was like, okay, because you know, I like Miller's stuff and Dark Knight Returns, and again, you know, Batman 1, you know, showed that, you know, Superman can be beat.
Right.
So you start looking around, and, you know, at the time, you know, the go-to is YouTube, or not many people were putting stuff on Instagram or whatever. And I was avoiding Twitter like the fucking plague. And so you find people on YouTube, and the hype was just intense. You know, opening night, my family's there, and, you know, I'm nudging my wife and nudging my kids every 2 minutes. They're like, yeah, okay, we get it. You know, acting like you're 12 years old, calm down. And so after that, it was, you know, repeat viewings. I was like, I'll go by myself. Day off work, I'll go to the first showing, second showing, you know.
That's what I did too.
Until I got something to do. I can't even count how many times I went to go see it, you know.
Yeah, I went a lot, you know. And after the first showing, I went with my girlfriend at the time. But after that, I think I wasn't really interested in seeing BVS because it was my first date with her. But then afterwards, I was like, oh, shit. I probably seen it maybe 5 times by myself, just afterwards, going back and back and back. Because I think, like you said, man, shit, out of all movies of all time, any genres, I think is my favorite one. I will watch BVS before I pick anything, you know?
Yeah. And there are so many elements to it. It was intelligent. And, you know, you're like, wait a minute, you know, what just happened? Now I got to watch it again so I can see that part. And, you know, and then when the Ultimate Edition came out, you're like, oh my God, what were they fucking thinking not putting this out? Because people started to trash it. And that's when I started looking for alternatives, because these YouTubes, you know, you had people like, whoever does that Emergency Awesome Cat, whatever that dude's name is, and like Nerdist, you know, Jessica Chobot and all that, and they start talking shit. And you're like, were you watching a different fucking movie?
Right.
Like, what's wrong with you guys?
Right.
So started dumping them, and then as you're looking around, eventually I heard about Vero, and Zach post stuff on Vero, and I was just a voyeur for a while, right? Just I was on there just to see what Zach was posting, and I had met Vinaldo and Fiona, and then I was like, man, like Vero's cool, but they keep referencing shit off Twitter. I'm gonna have to fucking just dive into this dumb shit. and so I did, and then you start getting information and start seeing like-minded people, and at the time, Chris Wong was doing some good videos. All the tinfoil hat stuff, because you're like, man, these people are thinking like me, like
Right.
and especially after fucking Justice League came out, and
yeah, Justice League,
because I was already a maniac for BVS, so knowing Justice League was coming up, it was like, that's every kid that either likes these actors or likes these characters they're playing or grew up like Justice League the movie. It's never been done,
Never been done, right? Correct.
And so you're going around work, hyping it up, and people are like, damn, dude, calm down. And your friends are getting sick of hearing about it and everything. And then it comes out, right? And you got to go to work the next day, and they're like, hey, saw that piece of shit movie you recommended. And I'm like, man, something happened. I don't know what the fuck happened. It felt like I was responsible for all these people's bad weekends.
Yeah, dude, you're fucking retarded, bro.
It was so bad, and people are like, what is wrong with you? You recommended that horrible shit. And I'm like, man. And so you start hearing about, I'd known his daughter passed and all that, and then he left, and it was always suspect when they're like, oh, Joss Whedon coming in,
right,
and we're going to adhere to his vision. I'm like, you're going to adhere to his vision? Why the fuck you pick somebody with a 180 viewpoint?
Right, correct, exactly, totally different.
Because I'm not going to lie, I'll go out and see Marvel movies. I like movies. I'll just go out and see movies. I don't see them as much now. I'm a lot more opinionated, but, kudos to Marvel that, they started something that's great, but now it's just cookie cutter. And, but, at the time, that first Iron Man, first Captain America and all that, those were decent movies. I'll watch them again.
Right.
But let's not play. Avengers was just bright and colorful, destroying a whole fucking city, not having to answer for it.
Right.
And here you had a movie that was directly gonna, put someone in the hot seat for all the destruction that leads into BVS, and then build up from there, and then just to be completely let down. And you're sitting there watching it, and you're like, "Yeah, that's not a Zach shot. That's not a Zach shot.
Right.
What sort of fucking dialogue is that?"
Right. Look at his mustache. Zach wouldn't do a mustache like that.
Oh, dude. Like, not only that first shot, I sat there in a packed theater, and that first shot came out with that horrible looking cell phone footage and that gimpy ass lip. And out loud, I was like, oh, fuck. My family's like, what's wrong? I'm like, you see his fucking face? And it was just all downhill from there.
Let me ask you this. They couldn't, that wasn't, we believe it wasn't done by accident. Do you believe some of those theories that shit was done on purpose, like a smear campaign to Zack Snyder, maybe?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
because, as technologically incompetent as I am, I can go buy an app off, Google Play and do a better face than what happened in that movie. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
And the build up to it wasn't Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon's Justice League. It was Zack Snyder's Justice League. It was prominent right there in the credits opening up. and everything was done to make it sound like this is Zach's movie. Joss didn't do anything, and if it was fucked up, hey, maybe Zach's just a piece of shit director, and we should
Right.
move on.
Right.
And they weren't expecting us.
Right. Correct.
They weren't expecting the pushback, and so that just fueled things more to find more people. And first time I heard of you was actually your kids. Fiona would repost your kids' videos.
Yeah, she did. I remember.
And I'm like, they get it. They get it. There you go.
Thanks, man.
And yeah, it was great because, and then I was like, okay, well, I'll start reaching out to more people. And at the time, I joined Twitter, I guess, early March 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And I had found just enough like-minded people that I was like, okay, there's something to this. And what was that dude's name? Robert Mata had that petition, for the Snyder Cut. And then he turned out to go sideways. I don't know what happened to that dude.
Seems like everybody does, man.
Yeah. And something just makes people snap. Egos and shit. But I was like, okay. And just started branching out more, still being a little reserved, just being voyeuristic for the most part, just trying to get information. But the phone call campaign, I hit Vinaldo up for that, took part of that, and all the letter writing stuff. And every campaign from then, I took an active part in, whether it was donating money or tweeting, or posting a video. If Will was doing a video to appreciate Zach, I throw something out there, and despite my reservations to have my face seen. And dude, I mean, we changed the world.
Hell yeah.
And it's amazing. Absolutely amazing, because no one thought it would be that quick.
Right.
No one.
Right.
And I'm old. I grew up in the 80s. So I was like, hey, I'll write letters every fucking week. That used to be the only way we communicate,
right.
Pen pals and stuff
Correct.
like that.
Hell yeah.
And Chris and I, Fiona, it's not like we would have group chats or a lot of DMs or whatever. We had a few here and there, and just basically, let them know that, I'm down for the long haul. We need to see this movie. And especially when you start to uncover, what the 5-film arc was going to be.
Right.
And all that. I'm like, who the fuck wouldn't want to see this shit?
Right.
What kind of heads are up? What kind of asses that you wouldn't want this?
It's like they intentionally destroyed it. Like they intentionally did it,
Oh, they did. And, on the, how many of them were out there on the press junkets and all that? Joss wasn't talking. The awkward interviews with the cast, you could read it on their faces. You're like, yeah.
Right. They just used to sit there in dead silence like this.
Yeah. And you could tell it killed them because they had to say something. I'm sure there's a lot of pressure, a lot of money on the line, a lot of people's jobs on the line. And these poor guys are feeling all of that. And having to sit there and lie, just the heartbreak, all the stuff coming out with Ray lately and everything. You're like, here it comes,
Yeah.
I know he just can't come out and say it, but one day there's going to be a documentary about this shit, and it's going to blow minds. There's still people, casual moviegoers, associates at work, whatever, they can't believe it. It's such in the realm of like a conspiracy theory.
Right. Correct.
But you're like, no, like in a sense, I was in it.
Right. It actually happened.
I was there.
Right.
Every day tweeting and writing these letters and dude, bravo to the internet, man. Like you put out a challenge, and despite what I think about Twitter and all that, you put out a challenge to somebody's going to do it. Somebody's going to find some shit. And you're like, how the fuck did they? Okay.
Right.
And So, that's basically how I got started with
All
it.
right, cool, cool. Let me ask you this: like, spiritually, what did we do? Because listening to you talk, and you're like, "Yo, man, we changed the world," and I believe that, right? But this is like for the listeners who probably don't even really know. Maybe they'll catch up later, but worldwide, we probably changed the world in the media shit. But spiritually, what happened just now? Because like so much like negative energy came from 2016 with BVS, and then that led to 2017. But did we change the energy of the world? How did we get this out? How did we achieve what we did, bro?
Well, I think it's the ultimate redemption story, right?
Mm.
I mean, ultimately, for Zach and his family, that they come first.
Mm-hmm.
Can you even imagine, man? Like your life dedicated to something, and the most atrocious thing happens, and your employer's like, "You're on your own. Fuck you."
Right.
I mean, that's
right.
essentially what happened. I couldn't imagine it.
Right. Right.
And so it warms my heart to know that we all came together and showed them that we care, and we changed things, and we pretty much established that you can't fucking do this again.
Right. Ever. Right.
And it exposed how weak a lot of quote unquote journalism is and everything. I think that's just a problem with technology. It's people used to plan their articles, do some research. It's like Clark going out there and doing his investigation, going to the police station, all that. But now it's such a fast-paced 24-hour news cycle that you can put out complete garbage.
Right.
And if you've got enough following, some quote-unquote journalist is going to latch onto that. And the next thing you know, that bullshit you just said is now somebody's article.
Right. They're going to regurgitate it over and over and over.
I don't know who it was, but somebody got clowned the other day. That they put out something that was BS. They fell for the bait. It's too easy,
It is, man. It is. Yeah, but, you're totally different than I expected. Just listening to you, just your name, man, had me trip the fuck out. I was thinking I was expecting what's the guy who wrote The Watchmen? Miller.
Alan Moore.
Yeah, Moore. Sorry. You ever listen to his interviews and he's sitting there and he's like, blah, 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 blah. But he's so deep or so something. Yeah. I don't know if he's weird or is he deep, but this was what I was expecting from you. And now hearing you, you're just like me, man. You're saying all the shit that I would say, Now, it's not a letdown, but I was a little nervous coming into this interview. I was like, damn, should I go watch my Alan Moore interviews and learn more about this shit, or what should I do? But nah, dog, you're cool as fuck. You're just like one of us. I'm thinking about even you see the Watchmen shit on Twitter, right? You ever?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty new, but when we have vote-ins again, I'm gonna recommend you, bro. You're pretty fucking cool. You're cooler than I expected. You have exceeded expectations, actually.
All right, dude. I need a little trophy for that.
Yeah, but yo, let me ask you this. Where do we go from here? Because you've been hitting every point perfectly. But like you said, we changed the world. But this is just one movie. And then you got the people saying this this movie is gonna, leave on a cliffhanger. So we kind of got 2 more to go after this. But then also, where does this leave Zach? Is he like, man, fuck it, I'm gonna just give y'all what I got, or is he done with Warner Brothers, or what? What do you think?
Well, I'm going to put a lot of faith and stock into his rabbit hole comments. He's very select with the pictures he chooses to put out, and that whole time, think about all the little teases and stuff that he would drop on Vero. a picture of his cut thumb. You know, he'd be like, you know, he referenced it to, I think he had like
Snyder
an
cut.
axe or something cutting his
Yeah.
thumb.
Mhm.
But then, you know, like I said, the internet comes out and they're like, oh, Snyder cut. Oh,
Right.
you know, see what you're doing there.
Right.
And so every picture became like, what does this mean, man?
Right. Right.
And, you know, sometimes he had to laugh because it would just be like, it's a picture of, you know, fucking bird or whatever.
Right.
And he'd be like, these motherfuckers are coming up with some shit. I really just
look,
wanted
it's
to post this
Hawkman.
fucking bird.
Right.
Oh, Zach confirms Hawkman going to be in the next movie. You're like, no, there's a fucking parrot outside. I just want to take a picture of it. You know? So while I'm sure he enjoyed our enthusiasm, I'm sure there are times that he's like, these fuckers, man.
Right. Right.
But how many times were we right? You know, how many times?
Right.
More often than not, you know?
Correct.
So I'm choosing to believe in the rabbit hole. You know, he said it. Well, he wrote it. You know, you can watch the theatrical cut and that's it or whatever, or you can watch the Snyder cut and go down the rabbit hole. So I don't think he would put something out like that unless there are plans in the works.
Right.
And to say that in 2021 the Snyder cut won't be a success, come on.
Right.
You know,
right.
That's gonna wreck shop.
Right.
And yeah, it's going to come with all the hate because, you know, people keep letting their egos get in the way. And whether it be people in the media or people within this fandom, people on Twitter, that ego's got to get checked.
Yep.
That's the source of so many problems. And, you know, I don't sit on either side there. You know, I'll come out and be like, you know, I get along with you. I communicate with you. I get along with Chris when he was on here.
Mm-hmm.
I get along with Fiona. And when she was out, you know, I'd send her emails and every once in a while she'd write back, whatever. But, you know, I know you got history of those TPZ guys, but I will say, you know, Anthony Fab, I don't want to fuck up his last name. No
Fabrizio. Yeah, he's cool.
He's been the one constant with those dudes that you know, we'll interact on Vero and stuff, and a lot of those guys, to my disappointment, you know, at one time when we were all loving each other, you know, we were all following each other and everything, and then you slowly start to see, hey, you know, I retweeted this Go Deep, and now fucking 3 people stopped following me.
Right.
Like, not that I care. My Twitter can fucking burn tomorrow. I don't care.
It's gonna get worse now that you came on my channel too.
Oh, okay. I had 200 and something followers when I started this. I'll check it in a couple of days, see what I got.
Yeah, no, I think the war is over, but it's still some little petty shit going on every now.
But here's the deal,
you know?
dude. Like, you know, if you just put the line in the sand, you say there's 2 sides, right? Because that's predominantly what you see. You see, you're on the side of TPZ or you're on the side of Chris, and that's horseshit, man. Like, we're all people. We all got to be willing to call each other out and check our egos or whatever. And if some shady shit was done on that side, you know, I hope that's been handled. I'm not above coming out and telling somebody I'm sorry and I fucked up. Right. Some people can't, but you hope to move by. But on both sides, we got to stop with little jabs and the little comments. And, you know, they released the Aircut account, you know, a couple times. We're like, you know, we were successful and we didn't block anyone. Well, why the fuck are you saying that?
Right.
Well, because the release the Snyder Cut blocked some people, and it just became so interwoven. And when that account was anonymous, it was a force to be reckoned with.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah.
And then stuff started from I'll say I'm an outsider, because even though I was in the movement, you know, I wasn't part of group chats and getting involved. I would donate my time and money and do the letter writing and all that sort of stuff, but I wasn't like Ben out there at San Diego Comic-Con, you know, and props to all the people that had boots on the ground doing that stuff. But, you know, the hiccup happened when like the soccer deal got questioned.
Hell yeah. Perfect.
And and so from my viewpoint, which I think a lot of people in this movement kind of fall into my bucket, it's like, what the fuck is that? You know, why are we questioning it now? Why are we questioning it in this manner? Why are we questioning it publicly? And how come all of a sudden it's this issue, you know? And then people started to question who was running the account. I don't give a fuck. You know? Who cares?
Right. It was a smear campaign against the account. It was like the same tactics they used against Zach, I think they used against the account, you know, but.
And whatever people's motivations were behind that, you know, you can't change the past, but, you know, here we are. And, you know, one thing that got me so excited was thinking about, you know, I was thinking this is going to be a lot longer. We're going to be years down the road.
Yeah, I did too.
Human nature, we were bound to implode at some point. But I was like, wouldn't it be awesome if we got it and we remained this powerful force? You know, I don't care who's running an account. What's awesome is that within a matter of minutes, we fed however many thousands of kids because Subway got on board.
Exactly. That's my point, bro. That's my point. That's when I got into this argument, because this argument has been bubbling before that, months before that. But like you said with the soccer game, that's when it kind of came public. But it was like some jealousy shit because Zach shared the soccer game. So then it was like, oh shit, Zach's starting to share some of Ronaldo's friend shit. So let's just kill it, you know? And then, but the Subway shit, man, like you just said, feeding 150 or 200,000 people in what, 2 hours?
Yeah.
I mean, once you're at a level like that, all this petty shit y'all got going on got to stop. And that's literally what I told everyone. I told Ronaldo, Fabrizio, Abdul, Will, everyone. I said, yo, we have reached high levels. And I have friends on both sides because I was friends with TPZ and I was, you know, friends with Ronaldo and them. But once we do some shit like that, I just wanted us to just focus on doing shit like that forever instead of, but it turned out where I shouldn't even said anything anyway because they kind of turned it on me. They were like, yo, he's the toxic one. And I'm like, what? So, I don't know. That's when we pulled out, but we tried to do our own thing with this Watchmen shit, but it just kept, I think there were people wanting to keep it going, you know, because like I said, this happened last November or December, whatever, around that Subway shit.
Yeah.
And it never stopped, dog. It never stopped. Even today, we just saw some more shady shit. Like somebody's coming out with a event who's kind of friends with Ronaldo, and somebody who's not friends with Ronaldo just kind of announced a similar event, and it's just like undermining, you know, somebody else shit. So it's just like more petty shit, dog. And it's just like, damn, we got the movie. You know, we got Justice Con coming up. We got Fandom coming up. We got Zack Snyder's zombie movie coming up. What else? You know, that we're bubbling with this air shit. Why is it always so much shit? You know, what else do people want, bro? Like, what else can we achieve out of this movement that it's still got to be people beefing over shit? You know, I don't see it. I don't understand, bro.
Some people just like to fight. Yeah, that's what kept me off Twitter. You know, it's because, you know, in my personal life, I've got friends of all different religions, all different political views, you know, and I think, you know, growing up where I did, it was like, you know, you look at my yearbooks like the United Nations, you know, and then I had to adapt coming from, you know, Southern California to Texas. You know, people didn't think the same, whatever, you know, and you got to have that comfort level with being able to call out the bullshit and getting bullshit called on you.
Right.
And at the end of the day, be like, hey, you know, we don't agree on this, but I still got your back, and you know, you got mine. And
Correct.
And it's so hard. You know, I'd mentioned this in one of your Twitter posts. It's when all you're doing is just looking at written word.
Hell.
You don't have the voice inflection and you know, that personal, you know, nonverbal cues. And I'm saying that as I'm sitting here with just my little avatar there. You know,
That's what I was gonna ask you. Can you see me do this?
Yeah, but it's one step closer. So, the inflection of certain words changes the complete meaning of what you're saying. And when you're just looking at words on Twitter and you're so quick to react and your ego's taking over, the next thing you know it, you're just in this warfare.
Right.
And you're like, good God, man, come on. Like, it's not worth it. Like,
it ain't.
You know, these ladies putting on Justice Con, that's an unbelievable amount of work, dude. Like, can you imagine? I wouldn't even know where to begin with that.
Right.
And despite whatever your past interactions were with them or who they associate with or whatever, they put in work.
Hell yeah.
And so props to them. You know, I hope Justice Con's a success. I'm looking forward to DC fandom and all these things to get us by with fucking COVID hanging out there and keeping everything shut down.
Hell yeah.
But I wouldn't even know where to begin. Hey, Mindscab, we want you to put together this fucking fan event. It's going to cover 2 events, and you're going to get Zack Snyder and all of his buddies to join. I bet. Well, I'm done. Like, you wouldn't see me logged on to any other account ever again. Like, what happened to that Mindscab dude? Well, he got a challenge. He walked the fuck off.
No, they did good. That's what, and you're right, man. And I've been telling people have been trying to, I did a live video the other day and people trying to get me to talk shit. And I'm like, nah, hell no. You can't, what they're doing is good. You know what, if the worst that we get is more Zach crack, we're in a good position. I just wish and I'll say this on my podcast, I don't have anything against fucking TPZ or Nerd Queens or any of them boys, because you know, a lot of TPZ ain't even really on Twitter like that. You know, what happened was really between like 2 or 3 people, and it could have been done easier. So if TPZ is listening, I know they transcribe my shit. So if they're reading this, I don't have no beef with y'all, but y'all did let Abdul get a little bit out of control. All he had to do was say, sorry, yo, I apologize. Y'all didn't have to cover the shit up, and then we would have still been cool. It was very easy like that. We were that close, bro. We were that close. We were like one day to still being cool, and then one day turned it to now where everyone hates each other. But I think everyone really don't hate each other. I think everyone is just like at war. So it's always like if one person shoots an arrow, another person gotta shoot an arrow. Even if the arrow didn't hit, or even if the arrow didn't hurt. The fact of the matter is TPZ was in the wrong. But that doesn't make all of TPZ bad. It makes them bad when they kind of try to cover it up. But I've done a lot. I've talked to them boys a lot. I've done a lot of work with them boys. I talked to them years of my life, and they were cool. You could have a beer with TPC. You could, you know, fuck with them boys. But, you know, what Abdul did to Ronaldo was wrong. Period. But it could easily been said sorry. They could have easily said, yo, I apologize. I'm still about Zach. Let's go. Fuck it. You know, but they didn't.
And where that got out of control is when it came out, you know, publicly, you know, quote unquote, on Twitter. Because, you know, if that would have stayed behind the scenes, those people like me that I put in that category of, hey, I've got friends all over here, but I'm not in these chat rooms or anything. I'm just here to get Zach's movie out and all that. Would have never known about it. But now, you know, there's a screenshot here and a screenshot there, and I'm like, God damn.
See,
like,
that's what I mean. Because Yo, it could have stayed publicly because see, I've never talked about the shit like that because yo, we were fucking not saying nothing, bro, for a long time, like months. We were just sitting there like it kind of sucked, but it was like, damn, what do we do? Because those are Zach's homies, and you know, when you kind of talk out of the side of your mouth, you're like we're walking on eggshells right now. But then there was like a campaign. Not only could we not just put up our hands, go home, and rethink shit, there was a campaign to continue the shit. To like, you ever been like, I don't know, bro. If you really like watch like conspiracy shit and you get into like MK Ultra or something like that, it's like everybody does good and has a good day, and then it's like you hear about somebody else trying to fuck that shit up every single time. No matter what, it's like a roller coaster of good day, bad days, good day. So it was like November, December, January, February, March, or whatever. Everyone was just quiet. Everyone that it happened or was witness to what happened was just quiet. Like, what do we do now? Because we know some people are just like kind of being, hey guys, we're all family. We're all here for Zach. And we know y'all really not. So like, we're just sitting here like, but it really, dog, it really wasn't that bad. And then one day, Carlos Digital said some shit. They had a Zoom chat with Zach and some beer.
Where's Vinaldo comment?
Yes, that comment, bro. It was like, yo, if you know what Vinaldo just went through, why would you say that? But then here's the kicker. Here's the kicker, bro. All of those people in that Zoom chat hate Vinaldo. So it was set up for Carlos to, like, somebody just, pitched him an underhand home run pitch. Boom, knocked it out the park. And we were like, oh, fuck. Just whatever, man. And that's when the shit really it started coming out. But it was small jabs every single day. And no matter if you try to hold your tongue and no matter if you just try to shake hands and walk away it was, those guys were still coming back, jabbing, because Fiona was on Vinaldo's side. So if Fiona ever shows up and really says what she knows or blah, 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 Fiona was kind of the key to all of this. So it was kill Vinaldo before Fiona comes back and kill everyone that's friends with Vinaldo before Fiona comes back. That's what really happened. So not only could we not shake our hands and go home and go our separate ways, when we turned our back to go home and be the watchman and just watch, people were still shooting at us. We were like, oh my God, what the fuck? This is no truce. What's going on? And that's why it happened like that.
You have to learn the power of restraint, the power of the mute button.
Right, definitely. I wish
I saw Carlos is one of the guys I've been following for years. I agree with a lot of what he says. And when he said that comment, just, I don't know what's up with that, but I'm not adding any fuel to that fire and move on.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of immaturity issues, out there, and everybody goes to extremes. The mute button is powerful.
Yeah, you're right. Looking back on it, I wish we would have muted that guy. I definitely.
As much as I like reading what you have to say and everything. If one day I log on and you're just going off, I'm muting him for today, and then tomorrow I'll unmute you and be like, okay, he came back to his senses. I don't know what yesterday was, but I'm mature enough to be like, hey, I like this dude, but I didn't agree with that.
Right. And that's never happened. I don't go off on Twitter. Don't give me that.
But, everybody, what do? They start blocking.
Mm-hmm.
They start blocking and they start talking shit and trying to one up. Where if he would have made that comment, where's Vinaldo? And nobody said shit, you just took the power away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for those that are close to Chris and all that, I understand like the desire to defend him or anything, but he's also a grown ass man, So those are conversations that, he could have reached out privately or whatever and spoke with him, be like, hey, what was that all about? This and that. There's so many things that can be kept out of the public and be handled by grown ass men and women rather than just this flame war. And then, you get a situation now where when they first started announcing, Justice Con, a bunch of people were like, well, how the fuck are we going to see it? Because we're blocked. I'm like, well, stop fucking fighting on Twitter.
What,
just go on.
You can't see it because they're blocked?
No, I can see it. But there were people that were making comments before they knew it was going to be on YouTube when they were just sort of announcing.
Oh, right.
How are we going to,
Right.
I challenge everybody just to unblock everybody, learn to just step away from the computer, turn your phone off, go step outside. At the end of the day.
Yeah, no, bro. Trust me. Everyone feels like that. But it's like a hidden crew that wants to go to war. And it's like, it wants to, but I don't know, man. This shit is weird. What we do now is we don't even, I don't know. I just keep telling people, I'm cool with everyone. Because I hate that shit, dog. I don't want to even get in. And me being Peely, that beef wasn't even my shit, like.
Yeah.
Like, damn, dog. I look back on it. Look at like Grace, right? Grace just sat back. Grace didn't get on any fucking sides or, you know what I mean? Like, Grace Randolph didn't do anything, but she got her fucking whatever interview she wants. She's doing her thing, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes it's like that beef shit hinders us, right? Because now my crew, people will unfollow me because I was the mediator between two other people having a beef, right? So, but it is now because I went and played with the pigs, I got dirty too. Okay, cool. So now I'm like, all right, guys, I'm not fighting for nobody no more because when we do the shit, it just be me out there fighting, and then everybody else be quiet. But then I'll be like, yo, y'all charge me up. Why the fuck? So it's something weird, bro. It's like it's like a mind control experiment. And maybe your name is the perfect guy to be talking to, but I don't know. I think there's some agitators that has snuck into this movement and they find a way to keep triggering people. And these people go in these chat rooms and they try to trigger everyone else. That's what I really think is going on, bro.
Well, as exciting as it is that we got the Snyder Cut this early, it's almost, some people that came in late in the game almost saw it as like this quick victory, so it doesn't have the emotional connection that some day one folks might have, where if you look at like the Donner Cut that took 25 years to come out, and there are dudes writing letters for 25 years, they held it down, the email came around, they started, okay, fuck these letters, we're gonna start emailing, and so I'm sure that victory for those folks is a lot more rewarding, where you have somebody that just jumped on and no fault of their own, maybe they just came into it late, discovered things late, but just say they came on October of 2019, and we had the big deal in November, and then all of a sudden, early 2020, it gets announced, you're like, well, I put in 6 months of hard work and we already got it, and now I'm going to start some Twitter wars and fuck you, what'd you say? And you're like, oh man,
that's what it is, man. It's some shit like that. But yeah, it's like hackers and other shit. Like last night, I just pull up my Twitter and my name is tagged in the middle of two other guys' argument about some beef.
Zod Rider, I saw.
Yeah, but now I don't got no beef with Zod, but I gotta make like a joke, like, damn, why am I even tagging this shit? But it was like, so you get days where you just wake up and you see like Peely, but it's not tagged, it's like, oh, he's a gossiper, but if I start calling names, it's gonna get bad. I don't be, but like, you look at it like, damn, what kind of movement is this? Where you get these people who don't mind being burners and try to be in a different accent, in a different country, sometimes a different color, a different race. And they just go after people at like 6 o'clock in the morning or what, you know what I mean? Like tag you in some bullshit. What kind of movement is this? So my thing, and I think a lot of the Watchmen also, they want to detach, but I think, not an apology, but to act like these people, it's a lot of egos, like you were saying earlier, and a lot of people are acting like their shit don't stink. A lot of people are acting like they're Jesus Christ of the Snyder Cut movement, but a lot of people are full of shit. I've seen the comments and I've seen the conversations of this shit is not like, it's like an image that's portrayed on Twitter and Vero, but behind the scenes is like fire and blood and broken glass and weed and drugs and shit like that. So everybody that knows what's going on, we're looking at it like, how are y'all, like, how is this going on? But like you said, dog, the best thing to do is be quiet and just sit here, bro. But it's like a lot of fake shit, bro. But the best thing to do 100% is sit there, be quiet, and be like, yo, I'm happy with everything.
Because, you know, if you ignore the crazy shit and hold up the good work, you know, that's the stuff that gets seen. Right. But all too often, this war on Twitter will start at 8 o'clock in the morning, and at 8 o'clock at night, it's still, but what about this? But what about this? But you said this, and I got this screen tag, and you said this, and I said this, and you blocked me for this. You're like, what the fuck did you even, what started this bullshit? Rather than just ignoring it and, you know, hyping up the Batfleck campaign that's going on today, hyping up Justice Con, hyping up fandom and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, but people, you got to look at the broad view of stuff right now. There are some people that did just enough to say they participated with the Ray Fisher thing, just to say, oh no, we did. Well, the last campaign you tweeted 4,000 tweets. This time you did 2.
Right.
You know, so you obviously have some bias, but you want to be able to say that you did it or whatever. And then some people, you know, looking down on, you know, this Justice Con thing and not wanting to participate, and you know,
no, fucking, you're right, bro.
Look at the successes, man. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I could have had beef with all 3 of those ladies for 3 years. But once I hear that Zach's going to be on there, and Clay's going to be on there, and Ray Fisher's going to be on there, and I'm like, okay, all beef aside,
right.
Props to you guys. This is amazing what you guys were able to do. You know? But some people can't do it, man.
Yeah, no, that is hard for some people. And I had to tell some dude that on Twitter the other day. It was like more screenshots and shit. And I was like, no, man, let's not do this, dog. Let Justice Con at least go by without an incident, because that, and his wife is on there. You don't shoot up the club when, you know, somebody's wife is in that shit. Don't do that. But like I said, I think, you know, like me and you might say this is our morals and how we live by, but some of these people, they just want to do that. You know, it's not like it's not like saying they don't have any morals, because maybe their morals is to do shit like that. You know, maybe, I don't know, dog. It's hard to explain, but it's like a million of them. And some people just want to fight. Some people like that anarchy shit. But like you said, man, the best thing to do is either make a joke about it or mute that shit and not even deal with it, you know?
Yep.
But, I mean, that was a great podcast. I'm going to just name that the Beef Podcast. The Beef Podcast Resolution with Mindscab.
There you go.
So, Mindscab, tell me, before we go, I want you to tell us, how did you get that name?
I think I told you in a DM, but basically being a young metalhead guitar player trying to start bands and write songs, and everybody goes through that point in their youth where like your thoughts are like heightened. You think you're thinking on a deeper level. You think you know more than your parents and shit or whatever. So
Right.
you're into some real, in-depth stuff, and so if I'm always picking your brain, eventually you'll get a mind scab.
Right.
So that's so it came from a lyric in a song that I wrote when I was 14.
Yeah.
Now I'm in my 40s, and I was like, those motherfuckers can just guess what the fuck this means, but now they know. So there you go.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So I'm gonna get, you got any shout outs to anybody you want to give a shout out to?
No, I give a shout out to just everybody out there putting positive energy into this fandom. It's the only way we could have gotten it. It's the only way Zach could have said, hey, look, there's good people out there that want this. If we would have been all blasting each other from the get-go, it never would have been here. So PMA, positive mental attitude. It's hard sometimes, but put the phone down. Go walk outside. Go say hi to your kids. Go ride a bike. Go do something rather than just being on Twitter getting mad at folks. So anybody that had any hand in any part of the release the Snyder Cut thing, man, don't ever forget that we changed everything. You can't even wrap your brain around what we did. Absolutely amazing, and I don't want people to forget that.
Right. I appreciate this fucking time, dog. I appreciate the content. We got to do this again when you're not, because you're a busy motherfucker, bro. I got to give you that.
It's a little hectic, yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna try to edit this shit up. I won't do much editing because I want to put this one out tonight. So I'll probably have something out tonight before 8:00, and I'll just tag you in the post and shit.
Sounds good, dude.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on, man. You said a lot of good shit. Mindscab, episode 181. He says, stop the beef, stop the bitch assness, put everybody on mute if they offend you. And if they trigger you, put the phone down and go outside.
There it is.
There it is. I appreciate it, homie.
All right, take it easy, dude.
Peace.